Hey, what's up, guys? So, as you know, last week was the first week that I've ever done this show. Geiserman was supposed to be helping me with the show. Said something about being sick or something last week, so he was only able to help with about a quarter of the tier list. So, this week we're going to end up revisiting it. He had a little falling out with, I guess, False Hope from San Diego. I got pictures from both of them not going back and forth, but whatever the situation may be or was, I just don't have time for the kitty bullshit drama. So for now, Yzerman's not going to be on the show. Just going to be me and whoever wants to be a guest. So last week's tier list is up in the top right corner. We're going to take a look and see, how far off I was and how far off anybody else was that came on the show with me. So let's get into it. First off, we got Abbotsford Canucks. Last week they were in the contenders category. This week I believe they're going to stay there. They did fall off a little bit. 6-3-1 last 10 games. I mean, it's still a really great team. They had some good wins against Tucson, some losses against Hershey and the Gulls. But all in all, they're still a contender to me. I'm not going to go too fast with the show, but I'm also not going to go too slow because there is some bad weather coming, so I don't want to end up getting kicked off. All right, moving on, we got Bakersfield. Let's see, last week, there are number one in dumpster fire. This week, they go up a little bit into the wood section. I don't really see anything going on with this team outside of their win against Coachella this week. I'm really disappointed in the team. I think they have a roster that could have competed. I don't know if line matching just isn't falling into how they planned it, but it's not like Marner or Mild Spice to go out there and have a team that's not performing. So, all right. We're going to go on to Belleville now. Belleville last time, I'm going to tell you, honestly, this is my fault, and it was a stupid assumption. I had them under dumpster fire, and it was totally wrong. Because I believe that they're going to be sweating for a spot after this week. Give me 1 second here. Y'all going 7-3. They're coming up a little bit more on goals for and goals against. They're now only a negative 26. They've beaten Wilkes-Barre, Providence, and Colorado this week, so it's definitely a team that's on the rise. Do I think that they're going to go far in a playoff run if they do make it? No, I don't. I don't think that they're that deep of a team. Just judging by defensive core outside of Full Send and Nikolai, Notable Maple, Nitro, Zach, those guys aren't going to carry them in a defensive core. It's not going to happen. Forward wise, Hudster, Captain Paul, they got Goosey. Dow is very good. Khan played against them the other night. They ended up, I believe, they shut us out or beat us 3-1. But we'll get into that shit show in a little bit. So I'm moving them up into a sweaty spot. I'd like to see them make it, but at this point, who knows? Next up, we got Bridgeport. So last time, they're sneaky, but honestly, I think they belong in the contention spot. They did lose to Wilkes-Barre, Utica, and Lehigh Valley, but it's hard to deny a roster that has an esports team on it, Teaspoon, Bell, and Israel. Earth, AT, and Hones, I'd like to see them get a little bit better, but those guys are a bunch of boomers, so you can't really ask much of them. I would really like to see their defense upgrade. I don't think Dempsey and Terry are what they used to be. Um, Elite before the kids is still a really good defenseman. So is Oswald. They ended up beating us this week in notable fashion too. So no complaints there. Moving on. Charlotte Checkers. Honestly, this team's still a dumpster fire to me. They're shit, to be brutally honest, just shit. But at the same time, we found a way to lose against them this week, so it is what it is. Ferocious, they got some good pieces in Ferocious. Master America's AGM, Bossy at 5 mil. Once again, way too much for the guy. Surprised me at 750K. I don't see it. Holtby and Yancer, I feel really bad for them because, week in, week out, they're getting torched. 164 goals against in only 5 weeks. It's brutal. Like, guys, you gotta do something better in front of them, or do something to give them some defensive support, whether you're coming back on a back check or, the defense is playing a little more conservative and not aggressively approaching people as they come to zone. No odd man rushes, just help the goalies out, I should say. So Chicago. They're actually going to be in a contention number 3. They fell off this week. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. Just 3-6-1 in the last 10. They're one of the best teams in goals for. Just they won against Providence this week, but they just seem to find a way to lose everybody else. Like, why is that? With a team like Dell, Oliver, Flames, Eamon, I don't understand why. If there's anybody from Chicago that's in the chat right now, if you could elaborate on what's going on with Chicago, go for it. But I don't know what the heck happened with them. 1 second here. Yeah, I mean they're 3-6-1. They lost to Hartford. They lost to Rochester. I mean, they only beat Cleveland, Providence, and Syracuse this week, and most of it was close games. So, but all right, till I figure out if there's anybody in here from Chicago, I'll move on. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay too. If not, I'll turn my mic on or mic up. So. Onward to the Cleveland Monsters. Honestly, I can't foresee anything. They got, I believe they traded Turtle, or he's on his way out the door. That's what the rumor has it, is that Turtle's going to be out the door. Klavitz 5-0 in net. Jeff BDR 1-3-2. I mean, outside of the Labrio and Langlos line, I don't see anything. 10-4-1. I don't understand. Like, they did get Roby, so that's a plus. Why Laval would trade Roby? That was one of the leading point getters, if anybody didn't know. So I don't understand that trade. Caulfield for Roby just doesn't make sense to me. They're going to be going back in the wood. So, moving on. Got Coachella. Coachella's going to be back where they belong and popping bottles. 1 second here. I actually went too many pages back. So, Coachella's still number 1 in the conference. They've lost to Iowa, Bakersfield, and Lehigh Valley, which is very surprising because they did have a very good record against non-playoff teams. I don't foresee it being a huge problem. They only have a plus 15 in a goal differential, so I'd like to see them tighten up on defense. I mean, the offense is there. It's just the D that's they're winning a lot of close games. 19 2-4 again in one goal games. So maybe they could tighten that up a little bit. I mean, outside of the always carried line, Alpha Fallen 7-3, Mac and Charles 11-3-1. Route the Gamers actually having a pretty bad season, 5-9-1, minus 23. That's actually a huge surprise. Scuttlebutt 10-3. So I mean, it is what it is. Some have a good season, some don't. So next on to Colorado. Colorado's going to go back into the contender category. Give me 1 second. They got notable wins against Henderson and Texas. In my opinion, Henderson's the dark horse going into the stretch of the season and even into playoffs. So anytime you beat Henderson, in my opinion, it's something to write home about. Second. Okay, so 6-3-1 in the last 10, 11-4-6 one goal games, 147 goals for, 126 goals against. I'd like to see them do something with the defense. Maybe get another left D. I don't think Genesis is really cutting it out. 3-9-3 with a minus 22. Willard's having a great season, 10-3-1. Real Process, 10-2-2, plus 30. Actually ridiculously good for a defenseman. Maybe they do something on D just to tighten it up a little bit at the trade deadline, which is, I believe, a week away. Frostick, 12-1-2. So it seems like their defense is tightened down, except for that third pair. But yeah, they're back where they belong in the contenders category. Moving on to Grand Rapids. They beat Wilkes-Barre and Chicago this week. Seems like everybody's beating Chicago this week, to be brutally honest, though. Grand Rapids is still in second place. 56 points, are only trailing Providence right now in their division. 113 goals against, goals for 126. Going into the trade deadline, I would like to see them upgrade on scoring. I think their goaltending is just fine with Artie and JTE. Wingless Badger actually came from Toronto. He's having a really decent season over there at 10-4-1. Maybe Scraggs doesn't seem to fit. 4-9-2, minus 22, 9 goals, 13 assists. I mean, maybe they just got to shake up a little bit on forward. Defensively and goaltending, I think they're doing just fine. So maybe they look for a premium goal scorer going forward. Okay, so they are actually moving up into popping bottles, in my opinion. Played this team, like I said, beginning of the week. We ended up losing 1-0 to them. Highly, 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 highly defensive team. So, all right, moving on. Got the Hartford Wolfpack. It's another dumpster fire shit show. The only notable win they have this week, again, Chicago. Potato Shack, shitter to me. That dude likes to message everybody after you win a game. He likes to talk shit. I mean, to me, he's nothing but a shitter. That's just my opinion. So I don't foresee them doing anything coming back from the season. So they're going to be sellers at the deadline. So if you guys want anything, be sure to hit them up first. But if I were you, I wouldn't take anything from that team. All right, moving on. we got Henderson. Henderson's going into popping bottles. Why? They're the best team in the league when it comes to goals against. They're the only team that's not in triple digits yet in goals against. Went up to a plus 44 in the goal differential, 6-4 in the last 10. They also beat Springfield, Abbotsford, and Chicago. My opinion, Tolerant is helping Flobes turn this team around. In the beginning, they weren't doing as well as they are now. So I would like to see Tolerant maybe be nominated for the GM of the year, but we'll see how that goes going forward. Okay. Next we got Hershey. Hershey's still sweating for a spot, in my opinion. They're one of the teams that are middle of the pack. They're 4 points out of a playoff spot. It's a really tight conference, or actually division, I should say. I see them going past Lehigh Valley, but I can't really see them going past Utica, Bridgeport, the Wolves. I don't see it. You know, Crunchy's very good. Fox very good. Jumps is really good GM. Maybe they upgrade on D a little bit. Ducci, please, and Sieve. I just Scamper is actually a decent goalie. I played him club the other day. He actually shut the team out that I was with, and I was actually with a decent group of guys. Other than that, I don't foresee them making a deep run or possibly even making playoffs. All right, so we're gonna go on to Iowa. Iowa's going to go back into the dumpster fire. This team was doomed from the get-go. Just by not getting proper management for this team by Unreals is ridiculous. It shouldn't have been allowed to happen. The league should have never let it happen to begin with. They should have forced him to take one of the manager candidates, or the league should have just appointed somebody. I personally don't think the league should allow teams to go into bidding without having management. Like I said in last week's show, I believe Unreals was trying to manipulate the system. That way he can try and control what happens in AHL, and it just didn't work out in his favor. I don't know if that's true or not. Just a rumor, but take it or leave it. They got some decent pieces on their roster. You know, SBDR's been around forever. Ely's been around forever. Sprangy finally got the call to the AHL. There's nothing there. You know, they got shit stomped 7-0 by Bakersfield. Colorado stomped on them 14-2. Abbotsford beat them 8-1. Outside of JC Fox and Lappy, this team, it's not doing nothing. It's gonna stay right where it is. So next we got Laval. Laval is actually moving up a tier. I was wrong about this team. 6-4 in the last 10. They're one of the highest offenses in the league at 170 goals for. Defensively, they're not doing too well. They're only a +6 in the goal differential. Maybe they did make the trade for Caulfield. I don't understand that trade. My opinion, it just doesn't fit well. You know, Roby was doing a great job. You know, he was up there in the team at points besides Meats and VMAT, but definitely a head scratcher. All right, moving on. Got Lehigh Valley. Lehigh Valley 6-3-1 in the last 10. They got a winning record yet. They're -7 in the goal differential. 11-6-6 in 1-goal games. I don't like this team at all. They got notable wins against Grand Rapids, Coachella, and Bridgeport. You may be beating playoff teams, but when you're losing to teams that you shouldn't be losing against, it's time to make a change. You really need to uh, do something with your defense. Buckle down. Either your forwards need to get back, or you need to tell your defense to play better, or even your goaltending. I know Blazing J. Rick is a good goalie. Cynic is a very good goalie from what I understand. So, you guys got to get done. You want to make it to the playoffs, you got to do something, because being negative in goal differential is not going to help you. So they're going to be sweaty again. Next, we got the Manitoba Moose. Manitoba was in wood last week, but they are actually moving up to sweat. They've actually had a semi-decent week this week, going 7-3, 152 goals for, 138 goals against. I mean, 1 second, gotta look at my paper here. They got notable wins against some very good teams: Colorado, Springfield, Henderson, and Providence. Other than that, again, they're losing to teams that they should not be losing against. So, if you're gonna end up making a push into the playoffs, you need to do something defensively. I don't know if it's you guys ain't clicking, but you got some pretty good centers: Gimmicks, Pone, Squad Cav. Let's see. Steelers, I'm not sold on. I haven't been sold on. Sky Kiro, I'm not sold on him either. That's one of LD's boys. I'm not. I've played with him before. I know he's not very good. SVG used to be one of the top goalies in the league, and to see the guy struggle this season, 12-10, 307 goals against average, and a 740 save percentage. That's unheard of, especially for SVG. So, moving on, we got Milwaukee. We didn't do Milwaukee last week because Yzerman was actually on the training camp. He had a lot of things against him, whatever, and I said, look, in order for no bias, let's just skip over them. So this week, they are actually in wood. Don't get me wrong, I like Bishop. He's a very good guy. Carter's a very good AGM as well, but my opinion, Bishop should not have been allowed to come back. I understand he has personal issues or whatever it may be, but you took a ban last season. Where is it fair that you get to come back after taking a ban, but there's other managers that also have issues that take bans and they're not allowed to come back? They need to go through a probation period. That's definitely not fair. Kind of ridiculous in my book. Outside of Maisie, Stero B, top shelf is all right on defense. Dio's actually a very good lefty. I just don't see much with this team. They have Crazy Dude and Bad Juju, but there's nothing there. So, moving on to Ontario. Ontario is actually going to stay in the same spot this week. Second, get back to the page. Plus 10 in the goal differential category. Went 5-4-1 this week. They're one of the teams that's kind of on the cusp right now. I do like what Vahey has done. He seemed to found his success 3 seasons now in a row. If this team makes it to the second round of the playoffs, I would like to see him make it past the first round. For a guy who hasn't had very good success in LG, it's good to see that he's had multiple seasons in a row, being successful. But that's my take on Ontario. Next, we got Providence. Providence going back where they belong and popping bottles. They had a really bad losing week, going 4-5-1. I don't foresee them losing the top spot. Every team has a bad week here and there. It's just they'll come back. They'll be better next week. I'm not overly concerned. I don't foresee them really changing up much on their roster either. I would like to see Ryan's line do better though. 8-7 as a second line is just that's unacceptable. Fly really should get on that. Quatch 12-3. Nicky P's actually having a very good season at 14-7. I'm not sold on McChell, just to let you know, Ryan, if you're watching the show. We played against him this week, and you guys definitely should have shit stomped us. He let in 3 soft goals, so I'm not sold on him. That's why he's not in the top 3. Moving on, we got the Rochester Americans. Team definitely fell off this week. I just they had a 1-9 week. It's a complete meltdown. Going from 3rd in your division all the way down to 7th. Like, what are you doing, guys? What are you doing? Negative 43 in a goal differential category, 153 goals against. Your GM is 2-10. Your AGM is 3-11. Twilight's the only one holding this together right now. What's the excuse? Like, I don't get it. It's like you only have one line right now that's contributing to the team, and that's ridiculous. Get it together. Got Rockford. Rockford's back in the wood category. Just don't foresee anything. They got wins this week against Tucson and Grand Rapids, but they're not going to do anything. 4-4-2. They're having mediocre weeks every week. Unless they go on an absolute tear and have, 6-3 and 7-2 weeks, they're not going to do anything. They're going to stay right where they are, as a bottom feeding team. Mediocre just doesn't cut it in the AHL. I understand it's a watered down season, but you have one line right now. Fleury, Drysdale, 11-0-2, but the rest of your guys have either 50-50 records or losing records. Like, is that defensive pair just playing all the easy games against shitters, or are they just getting lucky and lucking out and carrying whatever line they play with? Anyway, I don't foresee them doing anything. San Diego, I'm actually very disappointed in you guys. You're dropping down into the wood category. What happened this week? Like, seriously, 3-5-2. I actually had high hopes for you guys, thinking that you were going to do better. I was hoping to see you in as a contending this week, but once again, I was wrong. Guys, you won against Bridgeport and Abbotsford, 2 of the better teams, but you're losing to everybody else. Why? Why is it? I don't understand it. Ristos 10-6, Scott's 10-1, David Price 7-7-1. That girl Hunter, like, who the hell is that? Really disappointed in you, False. Just to let you know, if you're watching the show, just know I'm disappointed. Unacceptable, dude. San Jose, another dumpster fire team. So, this team's a shit show. Outside of Nacho, John, and Darky, nobody wins on this team. Yo, thanks for following you. Um, Winning 3 games a week ain't gonna get you anywhere. Like you, I get it. You have one line, but you need to find a medium. Try to do better for your team. You know, whether it's separating your line and playing with other guys, and stop putting yourselves together to just be like, all right, well, we're gonna win our 3 this week. To hell with everybody else. And you can't say that's how it is, and because it is. It's clear cut. If you look at the games that you guys have played together, you guys are together all the time. You guys are shit stomping people, and then you're leaving everybody else to hang high and dry. If you even think about coming back next season as management, this is your season to try things out. This is your season to see, okay, here's who I want to bring back because they are a decent player. They are a good player. They're just put on a shitty line. But I don't know. It is what it is. I foresee them being sellers at the trade deadline. So if there's anything you guys want from that team, you better get it and get it now. Springfield. Springfield's going to go back into contenders. Springfield actually took over the number 1 spot over the Tucson Roadrunners. 7-3 this week, plus 21 on a goal differential, 9-1-6 in 1-goal games. They beat Abbotsford. A notable thing is every win they had this week, the opposition only scored 2 goals or less. So that's actually impressive that they're showing enough poise to not allow things to go too out of control. They've actually had a couple of games that I watched that they had to come back from, which you don't let games get out of hand and you're able to come back and still win. So that's just my opinion. Moving on to Stockton. They're gonna sweat for a spot. They went 5-5, but they got a goalie as management. Why? Goalies are dime a dozen. I'm a goalie myself. I'm a dime a dozen. 750K. You can find any decent goalie for 750K. Obi-Wan's is carrying your team with 46 points. Luke has 31. Stobbs is 35. Are you going to get any help to help that line, or are you going to sit around? I haven't seen you guys make too many moves yet. So, if they make it into the playoffs, they're going to get first rounded and swept. That's a hot take on it. There you go, Boz. I know this is what you've been waiting for. Boz, you're still sweating for a spot, buddy. You beat Providence, Utica, and Tucson. Um, Boz's line went 3-1 this week. They're still buzzing. 13-1-2 so far this season. It's by far one of the best lines in the entire league. They haven't just played against shitters. They've actually played against decent lines, decent teams, or even if they have played against shit teams, they actually played against good lines. So the assumption that he made almost best line in the league at the beginning of the season, it sticks. In my opinion, it sticks. I was wrong and I said, that they're shit, but they're really not shit. Do I think that they're going to squeak into the playoffs? Yes, I do, but they're going to need some help from their other lines. It can't just be Boz's line that's beating every single team. But it's good to see Boz having a very good season. It's good to see Cab, Gritty, them guys having a very good season. Moving on to Texas. Texas is another team I think is going to make the playoffs. They beat Tucson and Ontario. You know, there's argument that Suge's line's better than the Caps line. No capping, and Suge's line's 11-4-1. Caps is 8-5-3. It could be a chemistry thing. It's not who they're playing against because both of them have played against equal competition. Some weeks they're playing against bad teams. Some weeks they're playing against good teams. They're all playing with the same guys throughout the week. So I just think it's luck of the draw. Maybe EA is contributing to these things, but I do foresee Texas making it into the playoffs. I don't see them going past the second round, honestly, especially when they got to face, competition like Abbotsford, Bridgeport, Chicago, the Eagles, all the top end teams. This one is probably going to bite me in the ass, but I really don't care. Marlies. This team is an absolute trash fire right now. Don't get me wrong. Ducky, Ninja, and Don. Very, very good guys. Very nice people. But I don't understand how you go from the first week, going from a winning way, a defensive way, and protecting your goalies to leaving them hanging high and dry. Like, me and Ian's a decent goalie. Is he a backup at times? Probably not. Am I a starter at times? Yes. Am I a backup? Probably. But at the same time, they're not protecting us. I'm going to be brutally honest. I'm going to put it all out on the table. We're not being protected. Anytime if there's a 2-on-1 and your D-man is jumping over to the puck carrier instead of taking a pass so that way the goalie can cover short side, there's an issue and it needs to be addressed. Either those players that aren't contributing to helping defensively need to be traded, or just something needs to happen. Like, this team is too good on paper to not be in contention for a playoff spot. Like, I get it, we're only 3 points out, but if you look in the past 3 weeks, we've lost how many games? We're 4-6 in the last 10, and we went from one of the better goal differentials in the league to one of the worst. I don't know. Complete shit show. Just ridiculous. Like, guys, you're cool. Managers, you're cool. Team guys, you're all cool, but got to get it together. This team is too good. On paper, I should say. Moving on to Tucson. Tucson has actually fallen back into a contenders category. They had a 4-6 week. Just, I mean, outside of Metal, Fuzz, and Horse, 11-3-2. Harlan's line hasn't done that great. Honestly, maybe the Harlan hype was too much for him. Kid had 14 points in his first week and 19 points ever since. Why? Where did Harlan go? I'm looking to go to Charlotte. Dude, it happens. If I go to Charlotte, I go to Charlotte. It is what it is. I'm calling it as I see it. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate all the guys there. I really do. But at the same time, you got to call it as you see it. I'm not going to call another team a shit show without evaluating my team and calling my team a shit show as well, because it is right now. I understand that there's only certain things that a manager can do, but at the same time, you need to put your foot down and be like, yo, no, you're not doing this right. You're not doing that right. If I'm getting called out as a goalie, other people need to get called out as well. So I just think the entire team as a whole needs to get their shit together. It's not just the forwards, it's not just the defense, it's not just the goalies, it's the entire team. This team is way too good on paper to be doing this terribly. So we all got to get our shit together. Anyway, moving on. Tucson falling down into the contenders category. 4-6 the past week. Like I said, Harlan's line, I believe he's been overrated. 14 points in the first week, 19 points ever since. I'm ready to launch people. Don't worry, Cross. Where are you going to launch them? You're not management. That's the thing. You're not going to launch anybody. I'm not going to launch anybody. I just... Yeah, this team is too good. Like, I've seen teams in club. Granted, it's club. We've beaten better lines in club than in LG, and we've shit stomped them. Like, not even close. Like 6-0, 7-1, 8-3, like stuff like that. And yet we come into LG and we're getting spanked by fucking Charlotte. Why? Why are we losing to Charlotte? Like, there's no reason we should be losing to Charlotte. None at all. And I'm just being dead honest. I have no problem with anybody on the team. Just being honest right now. It is what it is. Anyway. Moving on. Utica. Honestly, Utica's going into the we made it. Because I think Utica is one of the most underrated teams right now. They beat Bridgeport and Chicago this week. I wouldn't sleep on them. They've gotten very good defensively. They're a very, very, very greasy team. They know how to exploit the goalies. They know how to exploit defense. Do not fight them and put a computer on ice, because their forwards will obliterate the computer. It's not even close. Like I said before to I forget who it was on the team. I can't even remember. But anyway, I called them out for being greasy, and they actually agree. Hoopla. It was Hoopla. You Grease. They're a greasy team. If you can't play against a grease and grime and expect EA goals, you're going to lose against them. So. Yo, Grizz, what's up, buddy? Thanks for the follow. All right. Last and foremost for this is Wilkes-Barre. I'm not sold on Wilkes-Barre. Honestly, I'm really not. If you look at their games, they play against a defensive team. They don't do well against them. They do very good against other offensive teams, but when they play a decent defense, they're terrible. They're brutal. They may have taken over as, second best team in the league, but I'm still not sold on them. I don't foresee them going to conference finals. I really don't. I don't foresee them doing it. They're going to get to the second round and probably lose in 6 games. End of story. That's just me. So, but in any case, that's it for that. We're going to end up getting into some of the trades. Let's see. I don't really see anything that stands out drastically yet this week. Outside of the Caulfield for Roby trade, that's really the only trade that I see that's, I wouldn't say lopsided, but it is a head scratcher. Marley's trade Skiff 21 and Master Shotgun and Daily Spitz for Warren Got Stick. What the fuck is that? Give me a second. I want to take a look. I gotta see who this is because it's bothering me. No. Warren Got Stick. He's a right wing and a prospect. 0-3-1. So we trade 3 players for 1 and he's 0-3-1. And in the CHL this or last season, he's 3-2 with 6 points. What? Why? Whatever. That's just my take. There's been a lot of teams that have come up and down on the list. Obviously, this list I did completely myself. I didn't have Yzerman to, chime in on certain teams and say, oh, this team is shit, this team's not shit, or whatever. I did extend each category because I didn't feel 5, 6, 7 teams belonged in one category. Especially the higher end categories. Like S category should be 3 or 4 teams. Should be no more than that. 3 or 4 teams that's at the absolute max. Can't talk right now. Need to grab a drink. A second. We got anybody that wants to come on the show, or anybody has questions? Oh boy, what's up, buddy? Thanks for the follow. Guarantee I'm gonna get called out in the Discord soon here. Anybody got any questions? Boy, can you tell us how Iowa has been this season? I know you had at least a short stint with them. I don't know if you're still with them. I haven't checked yet, but can you tell us how it was? What's up, Con? Con, you guys are greasy as shit too in Belleville. I'm not gonna lie, dude. You guys are greasy. Like, yo, man, Belleville's a team to watch. I'm not gonna bullshit them. They really are. Yeah, win's a win. I'm not gonna bullshit you. You guys are greasy, but Grease wins. Like it really does. Yeah, Pop, you're still in there, dude. How's Iowa? Like, be brutally honest. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, dude. Be honest with us. How's Iowa going? I mean, it is Greece. It is. But at the same time, Greece is also when you should be losing the puck to 2 or 3 players, you don't, and end up, sorry guys, I forgot to take that off. That's a sponsorship of mine. It's a game that you play online. It's a free game, whatever. But anyway, I forgot to take it off. In any case of event, Raps aren't as greasy as skating through 3 or 4 guys and scoring a goal, or taking a turd shot that goes right by your defenseman that's standing right in front of it, and it just looks down and goes right through him to the guy that's open on the back door. Like, it's crazy. The amount of grease that goes in this game is nuts. I'll be first to say it. There's goals that should go in, goals that shouldn't go in. That's too advanced. Ain't nothing advanced about it, dude. No, even if they don't have no contest on, I mean, if you're getting bumped like by a defenseman that's 6'3" and you're a skater that's 5'9", you should be knocked on your ass, or at least off balance to where no contest works. I could see no contest working if it's, say, you're 6'1" going against a 6'2" defenseman or 6'3" defenseman. I could see that, but there's times that, excuse me. Lappy works hard all season when he's been on command to manage a team and the players, and yes, has been. Yeah, no, I'm not taking anything from Lappy. I'm not taking anything at all from him. He's a good dude, but what Unreals did was ridiculous. He could have got him for before bidding. That way Lappy could have bid on whoever he wanted, or he could have stopped trying to manipulate the system. Don't tell me he didn't try to manipulate the system, because it's just, there's so many people that were trying to get an AHL team. Yeah, that is true, Con. I mean, that is true. That's very true. It's just crazy. I still don't think one skater should keep the puck through 3 or 4 guys. You know what I mean? That's just me, in my opinion. 1 to 2, like, if it's a small skater going against, 2 small defensemen and he gets through them, that's one thing. That's fine. But if you're skating through a box, there's no way it should happen. No way. No excuse for it. Yeah, I mean, that's anyway. It's not just, Quebec players. It's any player that plays with that kind of build. Those builds are kind of meta. It's insane. They sit there and make a guy that's 6'3", 210 pounds, and they have low shooting and high balance, high strength. They don't lose the puck, and they just dunk on you. It's insane. I mean, but what are you gonna do? At the end of the day, it's EA Sports. Yo, Karen, thanks, or Kieran, I don't know how to say your name. Thanks for the follow, buddy. I just, I don't know. But if I had to say, thanks for the follow, buddy. If I had to say that 2 teams that are gonna make it to finals, I'm gonna end up saying Providence and Henderson. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree with that. I mean, I see a lot of D that aren't adapting to the game. It's much better to keep forwards to the outside than let them skate on the inside. And there's a lot of D that don't. This thing needs to stop. I'm getting really pissed off at it. There's a lot of D that don't keep forwards to the outside. They just want to let them inside, and that's how a lot of goals happen, especially when a skater comes into the slot. Regardless if you're in position or not, with close quarters on, it's still very hard for a goalie to stop a shot from the slot. For my part, it's only my second season in the circuit. Last season, no, I get it. That's not your fault. I mean, that's negligence on the owner's behalf. Yeah, close quarters is ridiculously overpowered. Like, I would say a third of the goals scored on me this season, somebody has close quarters on easily, or it's a breakaway, or it's something from a backdoor play, which they really need to fix the pass intercepts again. Feels like a lot of passes are getting forced again. I don't know if that's just me experiencing it as a goalie, but a lot of passes are getting through again. You know, I don't know. You know, there's a lot of goalies in the game that say, "Hey, don't cover post," but you know, you don't cover post, you get short sided. Close orders, big tippers waiting. Yeah, big tipper as well. Big tipper's nuts. But at the same time, if you got tip jar on, that helps a lot. Like, in all honesty, tip jar helps a lot. But I would say big tipper still um, outweighs it. It's not by a whole lot, but it still outweighs it, even by just a little bit. They need to make things equal so that way, if a skater has a certain ability on, the goalie is able to play against it. Some demon are 85 defensive awareness, no quick pick, and expect to intercept every pass from a 90 pass and tape to tape play. No, I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. They're not. They shouldn't expect that. You know, I haven't played much D in this game, so I can't really say what works and what doesn't work. I would just imagine also being in position say like once a puck hits a skater, you know, once it's about to touch your stick, you just rock them or stick lift them or poke check. So I can't really give um, a justification on what goes on for D in this game. You know, last game I can say, you know, poke checks or stick lifts, or you know, if they're going to enter the zone on a pass up the boards, you could just rock them, and you know, either they would lose a puck or, you know, they'd fall down or be in offsides. You know, I can't really say though this game, so that's just my opinion. I don't cover my posts ever, and I can say that it's rare to be scored short. Really? Really? I'm gonna have to try that then. Because I ended up going without covering my posts 2 games early on in the game, and I got lit up short side. Set if you can, if you got any type of clips, send them to me on the site. I'd like to take a look at them, like honestly, because if I could play it a different way, yeah, I'd rather not get scored on short side. I can say I had one terrible week, and that was week 2 or week 3, where I just wasn't playing good. I played like total shit. I got lit up like a tree. But ever since that week, I took responsibility. Now, ever since then, no one else wants to take responsibility for what they do. They all want to point the finger at the goalie. So I'm not taking responsibility unless I know 100% it's my fault. No reason for it. Give me a second. I'm going to turn that off. We got any questions? Anything about the old tier list to the new tier list? If that's it, we can probably call it right here. I'm going to be doing a CHL show real soon here. Maybe tomorrow evening or Friday. Not too sure yet. I'd like to do it when it's not gonna come close to Caps or any other show. Don't want to be a nuisance, but you know how that goes. Popeye, what do you think the Wild should do going forward? What would you like to see them do? What kind of moves? Even to just end the season on a positive note. Oh, Belleville? Yeah, my streams are archived. Yeah. Once the stream gets done, you can go back and look at it. You'll see. Get shit on. Khan said it's past your bedtime. Oh, Khan, I do got a bone to pick with you. What happened in that Providence game early on in the season? That triple or quadruple overtime game that you guys were supposed to take 2 penalties? Lag outs. Oh no, I know that. I know the lag outs. Game errors. Fly was telling me it was just stupid shit, but at the same time it was, managers not knowing rules or something like that. I don't remember what he said word for word, but it is what it is. I don't know. If you guys don't got anything, I'm gonna end the show right here and give it about a minute or two. Yeah, no, but they should read the rules and know that you're supposed to have a certain color post. But it wasn't. It was Bossy that filed the complaint. That's the thing. Like, that's supposedly Fly's boy. Like, if that's your boy, why would you AC somebody on something like that? Why? Like, all because you're pissed off because the game, um, the game took too long and they had to play, and Belleville had to play us first before you. Like, that's reason to file a complaint? Like, come on, dude. You're just being petty now. Like, if you had an issue with who was supposed to play who and when, why didn't you take it up with the league? You know, Bossy should have messaged the league himself or had his managers message the league and be like, yo, this team went into triple overtime. They had miscommunication, whatever. They should play us before they play their second game. You know, yeah, I kind of timed that out too. I'll fix that. But it's really just bad. Like, get wrecked. I don't know. I just think that Bossy should never filed that complaint as well. That was kind of petty of him. Supposed to be your boy, and you file a complaint over black posts. Like, come on. But yeah, Bossy can't be a man and go to his managers and say, yo, no, talk to the league and have them play us first and then play the other game. Like, either way, it would have taken the same amount of time. So at the same time, I'm not really understanding. Bot removed all of whose messages? Cons? What's up, freak? I can still see all his messages. Oh, he got timed out. Yeah, I think it deletes his messages just because it timed him out. It's nothing to write home about. Don't worry, Con. I didn't ban you. I gotta fix some of the permissions. Yeah, see, he's good. We were told to play whoever was available and ready to play when we were done. Yeah, exactly. That's how it should be. That's exactly how it should be. You should play the first available and ready team, which was technically both teams. So play us first because that's how it should go. If not, you can mess up the API. I mean, whatever. Freak, what are you doing in the AHL room, man? You should be in the NHL where you belong. Not skill-wise, but, you know, boomer-wise. Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, Henderson's still a very, very, very good team. You know, especially defensively. You know, so I don't think Henderson's going to be too worried, honestly. Maybe a hair, but sending me some love. Oh, man. Break, how's your season going in the NHL, dude? I was thinking about doing a segment on the NHL, but they don't pay attention to anything. They just play their games and go about their business. So I'm not going to do a segment. Just like I was going to do a top 10 for them, but they never wanted to submit anything. And I'm not going to watch over 120 games. Not doing it. Like, if I have to watch over, like, a day's worth of games in 2 times, then I'll do it. But you still on Dallas? I'll do a quick little segment for it real quick for the end. Just looking at rosters. Finally getting some wins. Definitely a lot of fun playing with the Bertino. No, oh, you're in Jersey. I thought you were in Dallas. So Tampa Bay with Nuge, Wingles, Cosmic, Psychotic. A good team. Bruins are top of the list. They're 1 point away from Tampa. I mean, that's not a surprise there. Same thing with Detroit. Like, that's that. Whoa, Sook waved you? Are you serious? Wow. Wow, I'm so glad I didn't end up going to the end. But anyway, Detroit 1 point away from first too. Ottawa's making a comeback. Look at that. Florida's still not that good. Toronto, they're in the same boat we are. Both the Leafs and the Marlies are cheeks right now. Buffalo is shit. Montreal shit. Hold on, I gotta let the dog out. Montreal, that's a surprise. Calgary and Carolina are heads and tails above everyone. Oh, yeah, dude. That team is stacked. The Calgary team is stacked, dude. They got all their buddies, all fourth lines dudes. Of course, that team's gonna be the best in the league. Like, that's literally all fourth lines buddies. Pairing the Fish 21, 2, and 1. Ooh. $134 and an 849. Yo. That's ridiculous. Wow. That is ridiculous. Like, Lindgros on Lions 13, 1 and 1. Toxic Deke. The third line is 10 and 5. Like 10-5 is a third line. The third line is averaging 2 wins a week. As a third line, you should go 1-2 a week. They're doing the complete opposite. So basically, it's going to be Carolina and Calgary in a cup. If anybody beats Calgary or Carolina, consider yourself lucky and play a scratch off. Might win a lottery. Heroic Duck is still having a good season in Philly. See what you're doing, freak. 5-4-3 with 20 points. I could do better than that. Cheddar. You got 20 points. Barely averaging over a point a game. Hold on. Let's do it this way. There we go. Starting 0-3-3. Oh man. Jared Dobbs and Sam Delisle's team. 2 first-round picks. That's going to be huge. On Dallas' third line, 5-1 since going to New Jersey. Who you playing with in New Jersey? This team is a freaking toilet seat. It really is. Like, logo and team. Straight toilet seat. The worst team in the league. I haven't followed too much of the NHL. I'm going to be brutally honest. I haven't cared. That's not a bad line. That's actually a good line. Anaheim Ducks. Ah, ha, ha. Blizz 1-5-2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yo, you sure you weren't playing for this team, freak? What is this? Like, what is that? Honestly. That's all you, dude. That's a U team right there. 4 first-round picks in 2 seconds. Good to see Schlarky actually fail. Nothing but third rounders. And he's got Adam. He had a good team to start. Who? Schlarky? Yeah, I know. He traded everybody. He had like what? The over-under was what, 15? He's already done 23 trades? Like, why? Now this I'm actually surprised about. I definitely thought Syke and Briere would have had the Ducks. I definitely thought Syke and Briere would have had a better season, and they've used up all their picks. This dude, total douchebag. Delbert, egoed me seasons ago. And you got a $9 million Ford. Oh yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. Yager's not having a bad season. Yager actually sent me a message the other day wanting to come on and do some AHL stuff. I gotta see how many hits he has. I really do. Yo, 253 hits. Yeah, we got any bogs in here? Grizz, you still in here? Anyway, I think that about does it. This was only for the AHL. I figured I'd just touch on the NHL just to look and see where they're at. I'll probably do a CHL show either tomorrow or sometime over the weekend. I'll keep everybody posted. We'll see how everything goes and whatnot. Any other questions, guys? Anything? All right. That's it. You guys have a good night, and I'll see you on the next one. Hey, monsters. What's up, man? Thanks for the follow. Thanks for the follow, Halsey. All right, guys. You guys have a good night. Be sure to follow, like, subscribe, do anything and everything. Take care, guys.